The next step is to have your own brand, have 100% control, have your own products. I think there's something satisfying about, creating something from scratch, something that is unique, that is yours, that is not just like dropshipping products from other suppliers. This really excites me. It's always a bit scary. Obviously, you're starting something new. You don't really know, there's nobody that, is doing it, and it's pretty new, but it is what it is. If you're not taking any risk, you're never gonna know.
You're listening to Ecomonics, a Debutify podcast, your resource for one-of-a-kind insights into the world of e-commerce and business in the modern age. This is Joseph. I'll be presenting a wealth of industry knowledge from interviews with successful business people and our own state-of-the-art research. Your time is valuable, so let's go. Marc Chapon, it is great to have you back. This isn't Ecomonics First. We actually have a returning guest here on the show. So I just want you to know there's been a big, huge smile on my face the last couple of days in anticipation of this. It means a lot to have you back because it means that either Ricky is paying guests onto the table or you really enjoyed the show and you wanted to come back. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Same here. So that's the good side, is the excitement. The downside, in the interest of my being honest with my audience, is I thought, wait a minute, what the hell am I going to talk about now that they're back? So we spent some time. We just figured out what we want to talk about today. We definitely have a lot of value we want to share with the audience. And to my audio listeners, I know how this feels to feel like once a show goes video that you're being screwed over. I've gone through this too. Everybody goes through this. But what we're going to show today will involve a video component. So we'll do our best to talk you through it, but you might want to head on over to our video channel to get the full experience. So with that, Marc, it has been, I counted, 9 months since we last spoke. So how are things going with you? How you doing? You look like you're living in a palace.
I'm in Paris right now. I'm moving around. That's the beauty of what we do. And I was in Morocco a few weeks back. Now I'm in Paris. Things are really going really well. Working on a personal project, an e-commerce project related to food, actually, which is, like I said, my passion. So it's really awesome to combine the two, and pretty much using, all the money that I made from dropshipping to create my own brand. Very excited about that. Working still on the coaching on my dropshipping stores, and could be happier. Everything's working really, really well.
I can't help but wonder, do you still have contacts in the restaurant industry, or in the food industry at large? Have you been hearing about, what's been going on them? Because it's been a year for them to deal with what they've been dealing with.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of friends in the industry. It was extremely tough for a lot of them. For some of them in France, actually, it was easy because they actually got some money from from France to keep going. They were actually making more money than when they were actually working. So now they're actually struggling more now than during the pandemic. But in other countries, it was horrific. It was awful, like for most people. And it was really, really bad. And it kind of, a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of businesses, a lot of restaurants that went bankrupt, and they really understood the how important it is to have an e-com store, to do delivery and things like this. And some of them actually made a lot of money with delivery, using Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and services like that. But it was definitely a challenging time. But that's how it is in business. It's always going to be challenging. You always have to adapt, and it's never going to stay the same anyway.
I don't want to stay on a dour note for too long, but my father was telling me about one of his friends owned, past tense, a wing place here in North York. And he had to shut down and ended up with about $300,000 worth of debt just on property expenses. And the thing is that his target market, even if he had adapted and he had started selling things online through Uber Eats, his market doesn't really do that. They're, truckers. Like, they don't really use the internet all that much. So it wasn't just a difficulty of the restaurants having to adapt, but it was also the customer base being willing to adapt as well. As for them, they wanted to go to the bar, they wanted to experience, watch stuff on TV, drink. So not everybody made it, which is unfortunate. But as you say, you're turning, your passion for food into an e-commerce project. Do you want to let us? Is there anything else you can tell us about this? About what you're planning?
I actually talked about it to my business partner yesterday, and I said I'm going on this podcast tomorrow. Should I talk about the idea? And he said, yeah. He said, we're actually doing it. It's going to push us to go even faster. So it's good.
Okay.
So yeah, so pretty much if you guys are familiar with the concept of masterclass, the website masterclass.com. So we're following the same kind of concept, but with only cooking and food. So we're gonna do master classes with famous chefs in France, in the US, in different countries, and pretty much teach cooking. Have these amazing chefs teach cooking on our platform. But our platform is only going to be focused on food, pastries, pretty much the arts of culinary arts. And yeah, that's what the business plan is about, pretty much. So it's digital products. We're gonna make the films and the masterclass ourselves. Working with chefs directly, and then obviously doing the advertising and the marketing for our platform.
Well, that sounds terrific, and it just goes to show one of the long-standing premises of people finding success in e-commerce is that you get to do the things that you really want to do and have the means and the resources to realize it as well as you expect it to be in your own mind.
Yeah, I mean, to me, drop shipping or especially drop shipping to me is an introduction to e-commerce and having your own brand. Drop shipping is amazing because the only difference is you don't have an inventory, but obviously you lack a bit of control. But that's okay because when you start, you don't have a lot of money, and it's amazing because you don't need much money to start drop shipping. But then I feel like that's the next step. The next step is to have your own brand, have 100% control, have your own products. I think there's something satisfying about creating something from scratch, something that is unique, that is yours. That is not just like drop shipping products from other suppliers. This really excites me. So yeah, and it's not just right now. It's not about the money. It's more about doing something that I love. I love e-com obviously, but like to do something that is initially my passion number one. And just combining those two passions, I think is just terrific. So I'm really excited about this. It's always a bit scary. Obviously, you're starting something new. You don't really know. There's nobody that is doing it, and it's pretty new. But it is what it is. If you're not taking any risk, you're never gonna know. So I prefer to actually spend my money like this than just buying something silly or whatever. And then it's like an investment anyway.
Are you guys? So one last thing I'm just wondering about because my cooking skills are lacking to be charitable. So would it be like for instance, a course on soups or a course on dinners? Like how would it be organized exactly? Like for me, soups is something that I would really want to get good at.
Yeah. So it's more like a premium experience. So since we're going to work with like famous chefs, it's more going to be around their famous recipes, but to do it in a simple way for everybody to make. Because most of the time it's actually pretty simple to make. It's just they make it complicated, but you can actually make it in a simplest way. So yeah, definitely going to be soups. They're going to be different dishes, desserts. I mean, everything. We're going to cover everything. It's going to depend on the chef. We have this famous pastry chef we're probably going to work with, and he's really well known with pies and making fruits, like kind of cakes that look like fruit and things like this. So again, we're going to talk about this, but then all the chefs that specialize in soups or specialized in entrees or whatever, that we're going to cover these, of course. And it's supposed to be unique. It's not going to be like a video you can find on YouTube. That's not the goal. Otherwise, we're not going to make any money out of this. It's to really do like a unique experience with a master, something that you would usually pay thousands of dollars because they do master classes. You can go learn from them, but they're going to charge you $5,000 for it. And us, it's going to be the same experience but digital with beautiful scenery, beautiful film. So it's that's pretty much the idea, and just try to really generate emotions. Because that's the thing. I think our strongest point on this is like we both work. Me and my business partner, we work in the industry, in the food industry. So we know what people love. We love food ourselves. So we know what people love. We know what people want to see. And that's how we're going to create our products. That's how we're going to, do our things to make people feel emotional with the music, with the way we film the food, the way, and that I'm very excited about this.
And I still remember, it helps that I, read through our transcript yesterday. I still remember, how important creativity of this is to you and how much of that can come through in making food. And so it's good to see, it's good to see that coming to fruition. And also you remind me, we'll get in, I'm going to get into like the e-com stuff in a moment, but I just remember this story. So I don't know if you ever remember this TV show. I'm sure it's still around, called Chopped, where like
Yeah.
every round a chef would get. So I remember I feel so terrible for this one lady. She was like a hash expert. She was really good at making hashes, and I think it was like the second or third round. One of the other chefs, she would make a hash like every round. Because that was her gimmick. And then on the third round, another chef says, I'm going to make a hash too. And she got eliminated because his hash turned out to be better than the so-called hash master. And I just wanted to express solidarity with her because she got screwed over on television by that guy. And I just feel so bad for her.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Yeah, it's a ruthless industry, especially in the cooking. Yeah.
To catch our audience up, to my audience, I never really had to use this rule before because this is the first, but I expect my audience to listen to the previous episodes. I don't want to use up your time just to kind of like, tell everybody about yourself. Again, no, we're not going to do that. But we are going to do is just continue on with the threads that we established in the last one. So we know that your expertise lies in Etsy. We know that it lies in Pinterest. And one of the things about Pinterest, especially in light of everything that's going on in Facebook right now and how difficult it is to maintain a consistent revenue on Facebook, is that Pinterest ads are consistent. You make them and then they stick around, and that consistency can build up over time. So in the 9 months that we've last talked, has that held water? Have those Pinterest ads managed to maintain consistency, or have they perhaps run into issues that you had to resolve?
So that's the thing. It's like you said, it's been 9 months, and I have campaigns now that I've launched. I think five, 6 campaigns that I've launched 2 years ago, and they're still running to this day and making me a profit every day. So obviously they're not as strong as they were before, meaning like I'm not scaling as hard as before. But still, they're still making me thousands of tens of thousands per month, profit without doing anything. And that's 2 years without, doing any tweaks, anything to them. To me, that's just insane. I prefer to actually make less and have something that works for years like that, rather than just making a lot and then lose everything, or making a lot and just not making anything the next month. So it's still extremely consistent. Obviously, with this iOS update, we were all worried a little bit that's going to affect every platform. But from what I can see, it's not affecting Pinterest that much. It's just the platform is different than Facebook. Pinterest, people are actually looking to buy things. They actually they're looking for ads most of the time as well. So it's not having the same effect on Facebook, where people don't really like ads. You can take them by surprise, So I think that's why it's not having such a bad effect on Pinterest. It might have slowed them down. I'm not really feeling it. My people working with me and people that I teach Pinterest ads to are not feeling it as well. But yeah, it's working well, super consistent. So yeah, very happy about this as well.
One of the things that I think about Facebook too, because you say people don't want to look at ads. I think one of the issues too is that even when they see the ads, a lot of the ads come across as like copied and pasted, say from AliExpress video, and the quality to them, there's just not a lot of there doesn't seem to be a lot of effort into them. Now, and I've gotten conflicting opinions on this. I just spoke to somebody last week who said, you know what, you just use them to get you started because they still can be effective. So what's been... So for one, we'll get into. I know we wanted to do some screen sharing on Pinterest, so we're starting to work our way towards that. But what have been the ground rules for making a Pinterest ad effective? And are they specifically images, or are there also video ads on the platform as well?
Of course, you could do video ads, you could do carousel ads, and you can do picture ads as well. I do mostly pictures, single pictures, but videos work well. Depends on the product. Again, if you need to explain how it works, then a video is great. If not, a picture usually speaks 1,000 words. It's very easy to convince people with a picture when the picture looks nice. So yeah, I would definitely go for a picture. I think, like you said, we're gonna do a screen share where I'm actually going to show an ad that I've created, and then launch the beginning of the campaign. So just the targeting for that ad, just to give people an idea on how we're doing it, and pretty much like a mini course, like a free mini course. I think this people would like that.
Okay, well, I'm happy to jump into this, and then as we go, I'll certainly have more questions that'll pop up. So you'll bear with me. I am just going to make Marc the host. All right, ready when you are.
Do you want to share maybe the ad first? I think you have it, and then we can just talk about this first, and then do the targeting for this ad.
Okay, sure. In that case, can you just give a host back to me real quick? Then I'll have to share the ad on my side.
So this is an ad that actually launched on Pinterest. So it's for a crescent moon necklace. This is a product that we found on Etsy that was working extremely well. And if you know me, if you follow my product research strategy, you know that I find products by looking at reviews, so recent reviews. So let's say you are on Etsy, you see a product that you like, you're going to check the reviews and make sure that it's reviews about this product and not all the products of the same seller. And you want to look for reviews that are recent, but every single day. So if your product has reviews every single day, it means that there's a lot of demand for the product. It means that people are really looking, buying it, and then leaving a review, especially that most people that actually buy the product are not leaving a review. So that's what you want to do. So that's how we found this product. So you can see here, so this is a jewelry product, a necklace that people really like. And obviously this is like a moon-shaped necklace with some kind of stones. I don't really remember exactly the
the word that's coming to my mind is gemstones.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not a gemstone expert, but yeah.
I only know a few of them because of Diablo, so I think those count as diamonds.
Yeah, for sure. So you can see here, that's the format of the ad. Very simple. That's the thing with Pinterest. I don't like to complicate things. It's not like on Facebook where a lot of people try to have a lot of text and big discounts and whatever. On the image, I like to keep it simple. So like a simple, clean image, people know what it is. It's great. If the product needs explanations, if it's a gadget or anything that you need to talk about because people won't understand what it is right away, then obviously it would be great. So that's the creative. And here we have the ad copy, which is pretty simple. Okay, you don't have to follow exactly this model, but you can see here for the first two sentences, what we did is obviously because it's shaped like moon to deliver her to the moon and back. And this people actually really resonated to this. People really liked this and thought it was great. We got a lot of cool comments on this. And of course you do. So the reason why we ask a question, again, I'm not a copywriting expert, but this works for me and for my students as well, is just to generate some emotions, to really make them, think about their loved one, their other half, and just like start to feel some kind of butterfly in the stomach. And that's what we're trying to achieve here. So of course you do. And then we talk about a little bit of we talk about the necklace a little bit. So necklace is a symbol of balance and love. It kind of confirms what we try to do in the beginning. Again, to generate a bit more emotions and to explain what the product is about and pretty much what it's going to mean when they're going to offer it to their loved one, right? So they're going to, this is a symbol of balance and love. This is exactly what I want for, my wife or my girlfriend. And then for the rest, this is like, is up to you. I like to put a made in the USA because usually with people are patriots and they really like when we do this. And this is actually made in the USA, so you don't want to lie. But that's something I like to include when it's the case. 50% off today, only get yours today. The 50% off, you don't have to do it. There's something we've tested. We've tested different things and this one was working pretty well. But you don't have to do this. You can just remove that and just say, get yours today. It's good to have, again, a call to action that just, get people to take action and go on your site. So again, I'm not a copywriting expert. I'm sure a lot of people, including copywriting expert, we said that, you could definitely improve this, and that's true. But this works. This is a simple method that we use for Pinterest, and it's working well. Obviously, you could do also a long format copy, which is, you're going to talk more in details and more like tell a story, an introduction, a middle, and an end. That's something we like to do also with this kind of products too, where you could just say, pretty much try to talk about when that person met their husband and girlfriend, so how they felt the first time, so how you just saw her the first time and that's how you felt, and just again try to make them go back through those emotions again. So that's another way of doing it. So again, nothing crazy, just very simple, and that's what I like to go for. So I test something like this, and then it's all about the advertising. It's all about the targeting demographic and the strategy that we're going to use to again show this ad.
So the term "do you love her to the moon and back"? I'm gonna have to go on record and say that I've said that term to my girlfriend, and different terminology I think resonates with different couples because there's just terms that have special significance. Like another one that I had said is "I love you to pieces," and to commemorate that, I made a custom puzzle where I took a bunch of images and had them custom printed on a puzzle. And so it's up on our wall now. I love you to pieces. And so now it's in pieces. Everything was great, except like 26% of the image was black. And so there was a part of the puzzle where we're just sitting there with a bunch of black pieces going, what the fuck do we put in? So aside from that, the rest of it went well. But I think that's one thing that resonates with me is that these different terminology can appeal to somebody, and it might, I don't know, it might come across as corny for some, but I think that is also an endearing quality and it's an honest quality, and obviously it's an ideal fit for the product as well. So what I'm wondering is, have you found maybe terminology or slogans, or not quite "do you love her to the moon and back," but like other versions of that, and maybe that there is a product that could align with that very well, so the copy will reach a person first and then the product comes along after?
Sorry, I'm not sure I understood the question really.
Okay, let's just say, okay, so let me just put it this way. Let's just say, for instance, there was another term, say, "I love you from the roots to the leaves," which is a tree analogy. Have you ever found terms and seen? I wonder if there's a product that would actually go really well with that terminology, like copy first, product second.
Oh, okay, I see it now. No, I usually go product first, copy second, because the product and the marketing is, in my opinion, more important. I mean, everything's important. Like I said, it's a puzzle. You need every piece of the puzzle. But to me, that's how I do it. I look for a product first, and then I see with the potential of the product how I can advertise it. That's how I do it. And to me, that's the logical way of doing it. But this one, this one resonated with me as well because I'm kind of romantic as well, and I really like this one, and I thought it was really cool because of the shape of this necklace. But I realized people we all know that people are emotional beings. We are not beings of logic. We are beings of emotion. So we react and resonate with emotion. So it's extremely powerful, especially with jewelry. You could say, "Oh, it's a gift for your friend, whatever," but it works better when we talk about a girlfriend or a gift that you can offer to your spouse, and that's always the angle that I'm trying to take when I'm selling jewelry, for example.
A couple of other things I'm wondering about this one. So one of them is, I think the term is camel copy, where every letter is capitalized, and it's on the first sentence, but it's not on the rest. Have you noticed, like, if the entire thing were capitalized in that way? Have you tried testing it that way to see if even if it's a subtle change, has that by any chance had an effect on the response by the audience?
Capital letters?
So you see how it said in the first sentence, you see, "Do you love her to the moon and back?" And with the exception of her, all of it is capitalized. But then the rest of the sentences, it's more.
Okay, I know what you mean. So this, to be honest, this is something we do. I've tried both. To be honest, it doesn't really have, in my experience, both works. It's not like if you do this or you do the other way, it's not going to work at all. That's not true. It's just, to me, it looks just more pleasing to the eyes, but it doesn't really have a huge impact. I mean, not in my opinion. Again, I didn't run any really thorough study on this or whatever, but in my experience, it doesn't have a huge impact. And
yeah, and one thing I noticed too is, so it says the first 50 characters are what usually show up in feeds. So for that reason, that first sentence, I think, is the key one. And so I think there's
exactly, like to me and in general, for what worked for me is really like to keep it simple and just have a powerful first sentence. And you just need to be subtle, and this is not, you don't need to be a copywriting expert to understand that. You just need to have some brains and just do a bit of research and just try to find something that resonates with the audience. That's it. Like try to read reviews on the internet, try to do things about the product to see what people say about this thing, and try to craft a message that resonates with the audience. But that's, again, you don't need to be a copywriting expert to do that. Anybody can do that.
Okay. A couple of other things I'm wondering about this. And this is me getting very granular about it, but in my opinion, I might as well.
Go ahead.
So the placement of the emojis, it's always on the end of the sentence. So again, is this another one of those situations where have you seen, if you were to put, say, the moons at the beginning, or the heart at the beginning, if there's any noticeable difference, or is this the ideal place to place the emojis?
It's just more aesthetic to do it this way. In my opinion, it looks a bit weird when you put it in front of the sentence, because it's like starting a sentence, you're starting with a capital letter. So starting with a emoji, to me, it looks a bit weird. And that's why, most marketers are doing this way. Of course, I've tried different things, but again, to me, this one looks the cleanest. It just looks good. Again, doesn't mean if you put it in the front of the sentence, it's just gonna break or make or break your campaign. But it just looks smoother. It just looks better to me.
Yeah. I think the reason why I would be tempted to try that for myself is if I were doing a bullet point copy, but instead of just boring bullet points, each emoji would be one. So that would be my approach to it if I were to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, so that I agree. If you're doing a bullet point list and you want to have, that's actually a great idea. But here, that's not the case, since we're pretty much, writing sentences, answering questions. I mean, a question and an answer. It would look a bit weird. But in your case, like you just said, with bullet points, it's definitely a good idea. We've done this for product descriptions, not for ad copy, for product descriptions, where we talk about the product itself and what it does, and what's going to change for you if you get it. We do that, and that's cool. Again, if it's used, it's for me, everything is about aesthetics, so it needs to look clean and crisp. If it's just too much and looks overwhelming, especially because I'm European, and in our culture, it's a bit different than in the US, where advertising, they go really, really hard, they go really, really heavy with the buy now and things like this. In Europe, it doesn't really work as much. So we have to adapt. You advertise to Europe, to Europeans, you can't just use the same strategy that you use in the US, because people actually get very annoyed with this. It's just a different culture,
Yeah, I mean, it's in the US, in the West, it's if you don't do that, then no one's going to even have a chance to pay attention, because everyone is vying for that attention. Okay, yeah, that checks out. So two other things I'm wondering about this. One of them is, have you ever? So you say that because it's an image, it doesn't necessarily need a video, because you don't have to instruct people on a necklace. But have you attempted video just to see if it would enhance the visual aspect of it?
Yeah, so it's something we do when we test, and it's a product that doesn't need a video. I go for a picture. But then when the product starts working, if it starts working and we start getting sales and it works, months after months, then we definitely invest in all the creative videos and stuff, because then we have more people seeing our ad. We do a lot of retargeting, and it's interesting to have videos to retarget people, to really show them somebody wearing the product, but the video obviously is going to be different. It's just going to be somebody, like a woman, or wearing the necklace, close up, and something. Again, we're going to try to make people feel emotional with some a classical music or something like that would really resonate with people. This would be a good idea. But yeah, like you said, you can definitely go for a video. But the reason why I say this is because most people don't have a big budget in the beginning, and you don't need it in the beginning. You just can start with this, and this would work really well. But then, of course, when you start getting some money, you have some cash flow, it's good to invest that money in making new creatives, to recycle the creatives and doing different things, especially for retargeting, different platforms, and so on.
And then last one I'm wondering about this is, because as you say, a lot of this is about how it resonates with the customers, and how it speaks to them on such an emotional level. It seems to me that it would yield some pretty good user generated content. I don't know about unboxings in particular, but have you is this part of your strategy? Do you receive user generated content like testimonials? Reviews, I imagine, are
Oh yeah,
pretty.
yeah.
Actually, you said that you use reviews to decide if the product is worthy of your investment. But are you receiving any UGC like from customers who've bought from you?
Yeah, of course. Like this is again huge for retargeting. Not really for cold traffic. Maybe it's mostly for retargeting because again, if you just use an unboxing video for cold traffic, people will be like, "What the hell is this?" Like we
Yeah.
don't even know what it is. But for retargeting, when people saw your ad and they looked at it a few times, or they watched like 50% of the video, or they're interested in it. Yes, definitely. We had some people doing some unboxing. Usually where we motivate them to do it. So by giving them a discount or actually offering them the product, for free. And yeah, those are extremely good. Obviously, normal reviews as well, very important. But video reviews are just the ROI on them, like it's just crazy. People love it because it's a genuine human experience, so people can relate to that. They can relate to somebody opening like a package in their own home, and with their emotions again, because it's all about emotion. They open the package, they cry or they yell or they laugh, and that's what
Yeah,
it's
well, I
about.
mean, especially if the buyer is giving it to somebody else, right? I would
Yeah,
buy it for my girlfriend, and so you see the connection between the two of them.
exactly. So that's the aim, and it's definitely what we're looking for, and it works really well. Yeah.
I got to say, we got quite a bit out of just that one image there. I was like, oh, I hope this doesn't last 2 seconds. But there's a lot to think about, and I appreciate saying that you don't have to be an expert copywriter. And as you were saying that, it made me think of like, I know we have some professional copywriters who listen and even ask to be on the show. So I don't want to. I'm not targeting them when I say this, but I think whether someone is a pro copywriter or is not a pro copywriter, I think if they have this elitist mindset where they really feel like they're trying to convince the customer or they're trying to tell the customer what to think, that I think is the more pressing issue. Is don't be elitist. You really need to be on the same level as the customer and say, this is something that we would use, this is something that we believe in, and we just want you to share in that same feeling, because you don't want to talk down to somebody and then also get an emotional reaction out of them.
Yeah, that's why I tell people like to choose a niche they are passionate about, because then it's easy to talk about it. It's easy to talk about a product you can relate to the customers. You live in the niche, so you can talk about a product. Like for me, like I said, I'm an emotional guy. So when I see a product like this, I think about my girlfriend or something, and it's just makes me think about it, and that's how I come up with those sentences. Of course, like a professional copywriter is going to do a better job, and they do amazing jobs, and it's great. And of course, you should work with them when you have some money, because it's going to take your business to another level as well. It's amazing. But obviously, when you start, you don't have that budget, so you should save that money and do it yourself. Especially in the beginning, you don't even know if it's going to work right away. So you don't need those skills at the beginning. It's just to scale, and then after that you can outsource to them, of course. But yeah, like I said, living in the niche, knowing what you're talking about, and because I remember having a few students that tried the pet niche, because I said I had a pet niche store, and they just said, "Oh, it's going to work then because Marc's done it," and they never had a pet in their lives. And it was just awkward. The way they were writing the ad copy was just awkward. They didn't get it. So when they tried to be cute, but it was just cringy or was weird, and people are not going to resonate. You need to speak the language. You need to speak the language. And if you're doing something, I don't know if you're like you said, we talked about before the call. We talked about what was it, Cobra Kai? Yeah.
Cobra Kai.
So
Yeah.
if you're interested about martial arts, or you're gonna know like the words that people use in this industry, and so you're gonna relate to those people. If you don't know, you're just gonna think it's weird. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? It's the same thing with every industries, and that's why I urge people to do some to know what they're talking about before.
Yeah, and I would say even more specifically, it's one thing to own a pet, but it's a very different thing to talk about a pet that I hadn't owned in specific. Like I've had newts, I've had fish, I've had a cat, had a guinea pig, never had a dog. So I don't. Being a dog owner is a whole different culture than being an owner of any other pet.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's a big passion. It's like almost a cult to have a dog. So and that's the scary thing about everything in life is like you don't know what you don't know, and it's like you might think because we all have this ego where we're like, well, I know what it is to have it, but we don't know. You don't know until you experience it, and when you experience it, then you realize, oh my God, I know now. And that's why I tell people, don't if you've never done something, don't think you're smarter than you are and like, oh, you're gonna figure it out. You won't. You just choose it as something else that you understand, that you master.
Yeah, like I'm going down the hallway to put the garbage in the chute, and one of my neighbors we greet, and then his dog comes running out to greet me. A little rover. I don't know exactly what breed it is, but very cute. Tries to jump up and just it just hits my legs, and I spend a couple moments petting it, and then move on with my day. And I think what happens is we get to experience oftentimes like the best part of pet ownership through somebody else, because we get to see, we get to greet the dog, get to pet it, but we're not the ones that clean the puke off the floor. We're not the ones that have to pick up the dog's shit when they're going through the park. So all of that lived experience only comes through if you've lived that experience yourself.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's not even annoying. Like, of course, it's not pleasurable, but when you love your dog or you love your pet, you don't care about this. It's never like you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. It sucks. It's not like people like go to 9 to 5, and it's different because there's love involved again. So it's like it's like for most people it's their babies. So it's like they just like, of course they're gonna be annoyed from time to time, but as soon as they're gonna come, the pet's gonna come and just like show them some love. They're just gonna say, oh, they're just gonna forget about everything. It's just So it's definitely not it's not easy, of course. It's like responsibilities and stuff, but it's for me, it's an amazing experience.
Well, even that is an insight that it didn't really occur to me all that much. Is the overwhelming power of love that people have for their pets just overwrites whatever minor inconveniences. If once in a while, the dog wakes them up at 3 a.m. in the morning, okay, that can be annoying no matter how much you love a dog. But for the most part, it's the feeling of care for them overrides a lot of this.
It does. It's like, I'm sure when you were younger and you got mad with you got an argument with your mom or your dad, and it doesn't last long if you have a good relationship. You know what I mean? Like just like the next day, the next 2 hours, your mom's gonna come and kiss you, and it's over, right? And the same thing with a dog. Like you can't be mad at an animal that doesn't really understand. They woke you up just because they love you and they just want to play. Like you can't be mad. So of course you're going to be mad for an hour, but then after that you actually find it cute. So yeah.
Have you ever? I just want to ask about the baby niche as well, because we all were infants, but we also don't really recall many of those experiences. So it's an interesting metric to go by, because it's not like everybody was an animal. Or maybe some people were animals in a previous life, but I don't want to get into that. If any Foxkin are listening, feel free to contact me, podcast@debutify.com. And I guess it's the same thing in the baby niche. Even though we were babies ourselves, we don't have the perspective of being someone who has to care for the child. It's a very different thing as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a dad, but my best friend just got a baby recently, and I got a baby. I mean, that sounds weird. sounds a bit weird. Sorry for my English.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, right. And it just told me, and everybody told me the same thing. I thought it was cliche. I mean, it just changed everything. It just changed the perspective. It's not about you now anymore. It's about him or her. And I can understand. Sorry about the noise.
You have to forgive my my Western ignorance, but was that an ambulance or an ice cream truck?
No, this is definitely not an ice cream truck. It's an ambulance. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is different sound in the US, right? Yeah.
It sounds different, but the premise is still the same. It's still just
yeah. So So do do you want us to go back to Pinterest a bit? We could start like talking about the campaign launch or something like that.
Absolutely. I'm eager to see this. So I have just converted host duties over to you, and ready when you are.
All right. So we are now in the Pinterest builder, campaign builder. Okay. So this is a Pinterest ad account pretty much for one of my stores. And we're just going to pretty much do the targeting for the product that we just talked about, the moon necklace. Okay. We're not going to do the whole campaign because obviously it's going to take a lot of time. Not sure we have enough time to do that, but we're just going to do the targeting just to show people how this works and the main differences with Facebook. Yeah. So here,
I'm just so you know, we're not in any rush. I usually shoot for an hour, but that's like for me like a minimum, so we can go for as long as we need. Also, I gotta tell you, it sounds like the ambulance switched sides on the tape, and now they're playing like a different song. It was I don't know. I just. Like it's like okay, it's like on the way there, and then they pick up the person. Okay, we got him. Now we're on the way to the hospital.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't really know. Yeah, it's a busy neighborhood. So we're gonna go for this. We're gonna select conversion. So that's something you're not gonna have right away. In the beginning, it's gonna be you're only gonna have either traffic or brand awareness and things like this because they want you to get more data before you run a conversion campaign, but you can actually send them an email, tell them to unlock it, or you can run a traffic ad and get a bit of traffic and then they'll unlock it for you. Okay, so we're gonna continue. So we're gonna hit continue here, and now we are in our campaign. Okay, so this is the campaign builder. So you can see here, it's a bit similar to Facebook. You have the targeting, you have the budget and schedule, the optimization delivery, and the ads. All right. So we're not going to create the ads already create. I mean, we didn't create it, but we showed you the ad that we would use.
So we reverse engineered it. So
yeah, exactly. So we're going to have here targeting strategy, and we're going to go for select your own, choose your own. Okay, which is here. And then we're going to go on keywords and interest. And that's where everything, that's where we're going to choose our interest and keywords. So that's the main difference with Facebook is that on Pinterest, you have access to keywords, just like on Google. So it's huge because you're actually getting warm traffic, people that are looking for exactly what you want to sell, which is amazing. So here, what I like to do usually is combine both interest and keywords in the same campaign. Pinterest reps are going to tell you that you should just go for interest or keywords, but in my experience, it works best with interest and keywords at the same time, especially when you're testing a product. All right. So we're gonna go again for we're gonna start with the interest. I'm gonna start with the interest first. So like you saw, we're selling this necklace, a moon necklace, and it's all about the angle. How are we gonna sell it, right? So let's say we actually want to target men for them to buy it for their spouse or for their girlfriend. That's what we're gonna do. That's the angle we're gonna take. So you might tell me, oh yeah, but on Pinterest it's mostly women. So is it not weird to target men? No, it's not, and that's the thing. It's because there's still men using it, obviously less than women, but because of because of this, there's actually less people advertising to men, and it's kind of untapped. So you can still find make a good amount of money and have a successful ad by targeting men because they're receiving less ads than women. So we're gonna go here and target men, but first we're gonna go for the interest. So like I said, we want to target people that obviously have a girlfriend or are married. Okay, otherwise it's not interesting to us. So most people, they will look at the necklace, they're gonna think, oh, this is a nice necklace, I'm just gonna go for interest necklace or keywords necklace. That's not what I want to do. I want to go for what kind of people will buy something like this, right? So I'm gonna go for we're gonna play with it I'm gonna act like I've never used it, so you can see how this works. Okay, so when you tap married, you have wedding planning, wedding event, wedding ceremony. Okay, so that's something you can do. If you go for wedding, people are married. They are in a relationship, so they have a wife and a partner, and obviously they're going to be, most of them going to be interested in buying something cute for them. Okay, so that's again a potential audience that you can do. Another thing you can do as well is go for people that have a baby. They may be not married, but they have a baby. So you go for parenting. Parenting, again, they might do it on their own, but most of the time, they have someone. So you go for parenting, and you can see there's so many things here. Parenting advice, parenting baby gear, and things like this. And don't think about it just, baby gear, they're not going to be interested in the necklace because this is baby gear. Again, just you have to think wider, okay? They're interested in baby gear, therefore they have a partner and they might be interested in something else. That's how you need to think about
it. If I could just share an observation for a second, what I find interesting was that, so you typed in married, and then the only interest that popped up was the wedding. And the wedding is the beginning of a marriage. There's a lot that happens after it. It's just that the wedding is the most visual part of it, right? It's dresses, flowers, and the rice and all that. So I think what you're trying to do here is you want to learn more of the story of this married couple. Do they have kids? Do they become parents? How many kids do they have? You're trying to get more of a sense of the avatar of the user.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to do. I want to go for like the ideal customer and not just somebody who's looking for a necklace, because then you're competing with everybody selling necklaces, that's not what we want to do here. So you can go for this. Then again, parenting. So you have so many things to test. This is different than Facebook. You have less options with interest, but you have a lot of options with keywords. We're going to do keywords after. But right now we're just, showing you a bit different things that you can do. Okay. Just like, this is really an overview just to give you an idea of how to use it. Okay. So we do parenting. There's another thing we could do. We could go for a relationship. And now you're going to see, we're going to have relationship quotes. Actually, we don't have a lot of things here, but if you do relation, we might have a few more things. Education. No, actually, yeah. So you have relationship quotes. We go for boyfriend. Let's see what we have here. Or girlfriend, boyfriend, jeans.
Could you try typing in anniversary? I'm wondering what would happen if you typed in anniversary.
Yeah, of course. Let me just do that. So you can see here relationship quotes, matching couple outfit. When I was on boyfriend, I think there was Valentine's Day. So another thing you could do. People are interested in this. They're looking for a gift. That's another way of doing it. Something romantic. So you say anniversary, right? So you have wedding anniversary. And again, it's the wedding part of it. So this is again another way of doing it. Then you could go for people that are interested in that's another angle. So again, if you don't want to do for like gift for like couples and stuff, another angle would be because it's like shaped like a moon. So we go for more people that are interested in astrology and planets, things like this. Again, this could work. So you could go here. I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of interest, to be honest. Astro, science, space, and astronomy. You can have this, astronomy, but this is not huge. We can see here when you click. Yes, it's a small audience, but we don't have the keywords yet. So that's again just one way of doing it. So we're gonna start now selecting. So we're gonna go for parenting. We're gonna select a category, and you're gonna start then selecting similar keywords and showing you how to build the campaign. All right. So here we have parenting. If you select parenting, let's see the audience. So this is actually 1,032,000, but we haven't selected the different countries yet. So when we're going to select more countries, it's probably going to be bigger. So let's see. So now we have parenting. Let me see on the demographic here what we have. Let's see. So there we go. So here we only have the UK. So we're going to go for what I usually do go for is US, United Kingdom, Canada.
Yay, we made it.
I think I'm missing one. What is it? Norway, no.
Australia?
Yeah, Australia.
New Zealand?
I don't usually go for New Zealand. I'm not getting really good results from it, so I prefer the big four. So you can see now the audience is huge. It's like 15 million. I like to keep it pretty small, like between 1 and 7 million. So right now, this is obviously too big. Here we have actually all genders. So let's see when we go for an email, much better. So actually it fits. So perfect. You can see, obviously there's mostly women on Pinterest. You can see that. But again, that's not a problem at all. Those people, it's like, this is not like the total users. It's the monthly active ads audience. So every month you're going to have this audience. So this is more than enough. All right. So we selected the different demographics and stuff. Again, I like to keep it pretty broad. All languages, again, is fine. All devices, fine as well. So now we're going to go back to the targeting. And yeah, we have 257. Okay, that's fine. We're going to keep it like this. I'm going to check the keywords and see how our potential audience increases and how it reacts. So now we're going to go again we were on parenting. So we could go for, you don't need to use the same keywords related to the same exact interest that you've used. You could do like something different. It's completely fine. So maybe let's say if we go for, let's see, we go for love.
So I have a question for you. Are you using keywords to expand the audience size or reduce the audience size?
It's going to expand it.
Expand it. Okay. Yeah, I would have thought reduce the audience size, like you're trying to get more specificity.
Yeah, but you can't do that actually on it's not like on Facebook where you could narrow. You cannot do that. But it's fine because the keywords are very specific and people are looking for them. So it's like, they already know what they want. They're already looking for a necklace. They're already for like a gift. So it actually narrows it because people are interested in getting those things. So here, love didn't get anything. All right, so we go. Here we have in love, feeling, husband, I love you. So all of these things are great. Okay, so obviously you just select the first few that are coming out. So I like to go for 50 or something like that. So they say Pinterest usually recommends 25. I usually go for, like I said,
you learn so much about human psychology too. What is love, relationships? I want a relationship.
Yeah. And you're gonna go. You might think, doubting love, relationships, maybe not what you want. You want to go for everything because you never know, And sometimes I had the weirdest results from the weirdest.
Because you get people they're not in a great place, and then they just meet somebody, and then they just get this flood of emotions, and yeah.
So here we have an audience of 278 million, 308. That's good. That's actually a good audience. We can leave it like this. We could maybe try to make it smaller with the interest. So we go to selected parenting. Actually, not sure what. Usually we can see. And select, I think. So let's go back. So yeah, you can see here. So if we do this, we select everything. So let's go back to the audience. But if we go for parenting advice, then you select a few. It's going to be smaller, right? But actually, let me see. I'm actually going to go for the whole thing because it's not that big actually. So I'm going to go for the whole thing. And there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do the targeting. Obviously, there's different angles, unique angles you can use for different niches. That's how you do it for this specific niche, for this product. And then obviously you test it with different ads and so on. But that's how I do it. That's my method. Different countries, and then you give it a few days because this is not like Facebook. It's not going to spend money right away. It's going to actually take some time to spend. So it might take 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, especially if you're using custom bidding, manual bidding. It might take some time, but that's just the way it is.
And what kind of budget are people looking at when they're setting up a campaign like this? And because you say it takes some time for them to align with the targeted audience.
It actually takes time not to align, but to spend. So I usually go for between $10 and $20 or pounds. Doesn't really matter. And it takes days before it actually spends just your daily budget. That's the difference. So it's not like you need to spend $500 before you get sales. That's not how it is. Even though that's what Pinterest says, but it's not true. But you can get sales after $5 spent if everything is aligned, if everything, your store's good, your campaign, your product, everything's fine, you can get sales on the first day. But sometimes it takes days for Pinterest to spend your money. So you want to be patient and just wait a bit. But like I said, between $10 and $20 is usually the way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I think if anything, I think people would probably be happier to know that the money takes some time to spend rather than going onto other platforms and finding out the money was like overspent. Like, I thought I only put $200 in here. How am I $2,000 now in the hole?
Yeah. It goes fast, but that's the cool thing about Pinterest is that it actually goes slower. People might think it's not a good thing. It's actually a good thing because it makes you have time to think things through, and really think, okay, how is it working and stuff. You're not like just you wake up one day and you spend too much money. This is not how it works. So that's actually a good thing for me. And I think it's a great thing. It's more, there's a slower pace, but it's more consistent. And you just have to be more patient. But the thing is, even with Facebook, if you're not patient, you're going to lose all of your money anyway. So you need to kind of have some the reserve and just like take your time.
Yeah, exactly. So something's popped up while we were going through this. So I think just a few things I just want to make sure so it's clear for me as well as for my audience is these ads. You're funneling people to an Etsy posting. Is that correct, or is it to a website? Or I'm like where are the transactions actually being made?
No, to your own website.
To your own website. Okay.
Yeah. No, like to your own dropshipping or e-commerce website, doesn't really matter. You could do it if you have an Etsy listing. If you're selling on Etsy, this is a tool. Like Pinterest is a tool, just like Facebook. It's just traffic, so you could send it to anywhere you want. But right now, the way I'm doing it and the way most people, obviously dropshippers and would do it, is it's directly to your website. But again, if you have an Etsy page or an Amazon page, then yeah, why not? Like it's the same principle. Yeah.
The other thing I'm wondering too about Pinterest is how much weight is it pulling organically? And what I mean by that is, if you have your account and you have maybe images that you're sharing and people are finding those, I guess the equivalent would be, say, if somebody finds like a Facebook page for the brand, and so they start being engaged actively, organically through there, and then maybe that converts into a sale. So in that sense, how has Pinterest, the organic side, worked for you?
It works well, but it started working well when we already got some kind of audience. In the beginning, to be honest, I wasn't really posting anything on the except ads. Pins that just I was using as ads. But then people resonated with the ads. They just started purchasing, and then we had a good amount of followers for one of my brands. We have like 10K or 20K followers for like this brand, and people like it, and then they come back, they buy other things. But in my experience, obviously you go faster by launching ads, building your audience. Again, obviously you need to have all the pieces of the puzzle together. So you have to good customer service, good everything, because if your customer have a bad experience, they're not going to come back. I was actually talking to one of my students yesterday, and I was actually amazed. We were looking at his dashboard, and he had 85% customer returning rate, and it's just insane. 85%. I don't have this kind of numbers, just being honest.
Yeah.
And it's just like shows you when you have amazing customer service, people come back, and that's that's another subject. But it's just very important to understand that if people don't, you acquire that customer, you have them as a follower. If most of them don't purchase anymore, it's because you've done something wrong. You've done something wrong either with the product that wasn't meeting their expectations, or the advertising, or anything. Customer service, whatever.
This is something I suppose I can look it up on my own, but I've got you here. So is a home office, like the niche that I'm in right now is mainly like home office and remote working. Is there a fit for that within Pinterest, or is it maybe too far off of the overall artistic aesthetic of the website?
What do you mean by home office? Like
So I'll go even more specific. So the exact product that I'm working on are self-stick drawers. So you put them underneath your desk, you pull them out, you have extra drawers there. So it's very much about improving the remote working space.
Yeah. That is definitely. It's kind of not really home. I mean, it's kind of linked to home decor a little bit, right? To home.
I mean, like because it's a utility product, so I'm not sure about that.
I mean, it works. There's an audience for everything. It would definitely work. Yeah.
All right, I think we can. I don't. If there's anything else you want to show us while we got your screen share, otherwise, I think we can close that one down.
I mean, there's other things. Sorry, there's other things. But obviously, like this is like then after there's a lot of details and a lot of things that requires more time. Like takes a lot of time. So I think it's just more good introduction. That if people want to learn more, they can watch. I have a lot of videos. I have a course, a mentoring program, so they're more than welcome to see. I think that's a good overview to start and understand how this works.
Yeah, and the visual side of it has helped me a lot too. Just getting especially getting a sense of the relationship between the interests and the keywords. I think without your explanation, I wouldn't have understood exactly how those two work together. This is like maybe one of the silliest questions I've asked in a long time, but have you ever figured out if you need to say like prevent someone from looking at it? So I'll give you an example based on the necklace. So let's just say you only want the guys to look at it because you don't want the girls to like see it. They want it to just be like a pure surprise. I know this is a very specific example, but I'm wondering if Pinterest would have that kind of capability.
Not really. I mean, you're not targeting women, so it's not going to show to women. Of course, if they're using the account of their girlfriend, boyfriend, or they might see it. But no, there's not really. I don't think so. But it's not a problem because, like I said, when you're targeting men, it's mostly 99% of men will see it, and women will not. Obviously, some other people will probably advertise the product also to women. But then
you can't control their advertising.
Yeah, exactly. You can't control what other people are doing. But obviously, there's different angles that you could use. Like right now, that's the angle we've used, but it's not necessarily the only one that you can use. There's this example I always talk about is like, have you seen this product that was everywhere? I think it was last year. Was this massager thing that you're putting on your muscle? Was doing like this, and people were like advertising this everywhere, and it was just oversaturated. And with this brand that kind of used it for horses, and they were like using it as an ad to like actually relax their horses, right? And this is like a complete new angle, the same product, but just for a different thing, and it works super well for them. So that's what I try to show and teach people is that the same product can be advertised differently, and you need to think outside of the box. Again, this is creativity again, but it's just that's how you kind of separate yourself from the pack, and that's how you don't need to be a genius, but it's just like trying to do things slightly differently in a smart way to get different customers. So here we use this angle of like as a gift for men, but you could go for women that are interested in gemstones or they're interested in astronomy, for example. There's different angles that you could use.
Yeah, well, I just got to say, I think for the person to have come up with using the massager for the horse, that ties into what we were saying earlier about, having your own pet. Pretty sure whoever thought of that had a horse and was actually trying it out. Yeah, I never would have thought of that in a million years, even if I was working on that product. So
yeah, but actually you could do it. You could. I didn't even think about it, but you could actually. I saw it for horses. You could do it for dogs. You know what I mean? You could do it because there's different power thing on this stuff. So you're not gonna knock out your dog, but like you could go for like a little. That would be weird. I have like a
is your baby having a hard time sleeping?
Oh my god, you poor thing. Yeah, and it's like cat would be insane.
Yeah, or the parent just use it on themselves. Just all right.
yeah. No, but like for example, for old dogs maybe, or for things like this, could definitely work if you do it gently. So see, that's another thing I just thought about it now. I never seen it before, but this could definitely be an angle that people could use for the same product, a product that is saturated, that is not working for general niches, and you just use it for different animals, or animals or different. So I'm using different audiences. That's what I meant, and then it could work and turn it from a loser to a winner in overnight.
Yeah, I tend to hold on to this idea. It was instilled very early on, which is the product doesn't work, kill it. And I try to hold on to that idea because it helps keep me grounded in that, these things, the bottom can fall out, these things, they might not work. But I also get a lot of the opposing opinion, which is there's always a new approach. There is a new way to look at it. So products aren't made to fail. They're made to succeed. So, outside of the box thinking and creative thinking can lead you towards finding a new way to approach the product.
It's risky because when you're a beginner, again, you don't know what you don't know. So you just pretty much throwing things at the wall and hoping it sticks. And that's not good. So that's why as beginners, it's good to actually, like you said, it keeps you grounded to say, okay, it doesn't work after 2 weeks or something, I move on, right? But when you get more experience, you then realize, okay, there's new angles and stuff. Because in the beginning, I was testing 100 of angles, but actually the product, the whole thing was a dud and I couldn't make it work, but I tried very hard to make it work. And I've lost thousands, when I was just started. And again, so it's a really fine balance between, and that's why it's hard. That's why people are struggling. It's not easy, but you should not give up right away. That's why it's not because it doesn't work the first week that it's not going to work. That's for sure. Like most of my products that were bestsellers, they were not working the first week. They were working. They were getting me sales, but they're not getting me profit. Again, getting sales is easy. But getting profit is the hard thing. And yeah, so like after a week or 2 weeks, started tweaking the price, the offer, everything. Then I started making profit. If I gave up like before, like just because it doesn't work, I'm just going to try something else, I would have not, I would have missed, like leave hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. So it's good to again test different things. When you get sales, you're not getting anything, and if you're doing again everything correctly, all the pieces of puzzle together, the site, the advertising, everything, and it still doesn't work, then yes. But again, that's the hard thing, is that some people think they have all the pieces of the puzzle together, but they actually don't. The advertising strategy is not good, or their site is not good. So that's why it's hard with e-commerce in general, is like to really make sure that you actually every part of this e-commerce puzzle is actually complete and everything is done good. So if it doesn't work, okay, it's the product or is this, and right? But when you're confused and you're lost, and that's what happens to most people, they just don't know and they give up because they're like, oh, this thing doesn't work,
Yeah, and you're using the term the ecom puzzle, which is great because I really wanted to ask you about ever since like I learned that from you. I've held on to that for myself, and over time I get to talk to different people in different areas, and I guess my puzzle maybe takes a different shape from other people. For instance, like affiliate marketing is something I'm really enthusiastic about, and so that might have a bigger chunk on it on my puzzle versus like SEO, which to me is important. Really got to have it. But as every time somebody tries to explain SEO to me, I start drooling at the mouth. So I it's got to fit, but it's really hard for me. So what I'm wondering is, over since the last time we talked, has your puzzle come into clearer focus? Have new pieces been added to it? Like, has there been any really major revelations that have reshaped your thinking about what you're doing?
Different platforms, like using, for example, TikTok influencers is definitely a new one that I'm doing. Creating different pieces. Like trying to find new pieces with different platforms again. But aside from this, the basics are still the same. It's still website, advertising, products. That's the three main pieces. And then after that, it's like, different apps, different components and stuff. But the main pieces are mostly, the products, the advertising, and the website. And those will never change. It's always going to be this. And then you're going to add a few more pieces to complete the puzzle and make it bigger, because it's kind of a puzzle that is never finished. But you need the basics to make it work. If you miss the big parts, it's not going to work. So obviously, when I talk about like the three main pieces, like I said, it doesn't. If you only have those three, you're not going to go really far. It's just going to be, you're going to get sales if you do this well. But then you need good customer service, which is another piece of the puzzle. To expand, then you need different strategy of scaling. Then you need different again traffic sources, and those are all the pieces that allows you to expand. And as the puzzle expands, so your business expands and grows as well, and it grows as well. So that's pretty much the idea of, again, it's just an image. But it's just and it's the same to everything in life. Everything you do in life, whether it's a sport, whether it's tennis, whether it's business, there is a lot of things that goes into it. It's not just like hitting a ball. You know what I mean? Like in tennis or fighting, it's not just punching somebody in the face. There's so many technique and movements and strategies behind it. And you need to learn all of these things to actually be efficient at fighting or at playing tennis. The same thing with business.
You reminded me, I don't know if you've ever heard or seen this TV show. It was called Extras with Ricky Gervais. And there's this clip that got very popular where he's sitting sitting across from Sir Ian McKellen, who's playing himself, Magneto, Gandalf, and a bunch of other theater performances that I don't know off the top of my head. And he says, how do I act so well? I pretend to be the character I'm playing. And the whole joke of the scene is that he's explaining it in such a simplistic, childlike way that Ricky's just like just completely amazed or just in shock. Like you're explaining to this like it's a 5-year-old. Like, and remember, when we're on the shoot, no one has their scripts with them. And I remember it because the first part of it is, it's really funny to think that this, one of the most respected actors in the world is explaining it like a child. But then it also made me think, well, you know what? As a start, sometimes starting with the most simplistic approach is a good place to start. Is yes, I am just pretending to be somebody else. That is the essence of acting. Or yes, I am just trying to sell a product. I'm trying to solve somebody else's problems. That is the essence of marketing. And then you learn the technique and you get more into it. But I think starting with the premise is it gets people aligned in the right way. And that's one thing I've really tried hard to do, which is, what is the core premise of this, which is you're solving problems for other people.
Yeah, you're solving problem. You're selling pleasure. You're selling something that's going to make people happy or change, pretty much solve a problem that is going to make them happy or, solve a pain. And actually, it's funny that you talk about this. I was actually looking at, I was watching a video this morning of, obviously the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm sure you watched the movie.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
And there's this famous scene where he says, sell this pen. And then I saw an interview of him and people asking him, so sell me this pen. And he's like, oh, I'm going to actually explain to you what I meant by this. And he said, people that don't understand selling, and again, it's the same thing for e-commerce, what we do. They're just going to describe the product and say, this is an amazing pen. This is great. This is, you can write upside down. You can do this. You can do that. He said, but those people, they don't understand selling, and nobody's going to ever buy or, something like that. So the only thing you can actually do, the only rational thing you can do is actually ask questions and understand if first they need a pen. Why they need a pen, what kind of pen they've used, why would they for how they're going to use this pen. And then you're going to understand and get all of this data and then use that data to sell them this product, right? If they say, well, no, I never use pens. I just work on my computer. You shouldn't even sell them the product, right? You shouldn't even try because it's going to be pushy. It's not going to work. So it's pretty much, obviously, it's not that we're not selling pens, but it's the same idea here. We don't want to describe just the product. We want to talk about what kind of solutions it would solve, even if it's not obvious for them, and then present the product as a solution in a subtle way, and not just buy, because you can't force people to buy anyway. It's just not how it works. We make decisions, so it needs to be subtle. It's an art.
Well, one thing I find interesting about your computer analogy is that, is it possible that, because like you're saying, you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes it's also about, you have to introduce the problem for them before you can introduce a solution to them. So somebody who's on the computer all the time, like for me, for instance, I have paper all over the place because I recognize the value. And even as we're talking, I jot down notes because it's easier to do that than to pull up the other screen, type it in. It's very distracting. So problem solution. I think there's a pursuit there as well, which is helping people identify what their problems are before you can even identify their solutions.
You don't want to go for the solution first. Never. You want to talk about, again, the needs and it's always problems first. Did I say that I was need to talk about solution first?
No, I don't remember you saying that. No.
No. It's always problem first, and then the solution. But like you said, sometimes they might not be even aware of the problem, really. But that's the subtlety in this. It's you need to talk about this problem, but not without making it salesy. Really explain the problem that they're facing. Oh, that's why my hired. So that's why this happens, or whatever. And then you provide the solution. But again, it's a very subtle art, because you can't just say, oh, I urge buy this product. This is amazing. It's gonna, like, you can't just do that, because you sound like an idiot. So you need to find ways to make it cool. That's why people do now. Like they do, it's really cool, like to advertise, to make it cool, and that's what you need to do. So you can use humor, you can use like jokes and emotions and different things like this. This could help you. Yeah.
Well, with that, I just had a look at how long we've been going for, and it is an hour and 15. So we've, I for one, I think I've gone through all my agenda.
Yeah.
And so I think we're good to wrap this up. And I want to say it's really been great to have you back. It's been great to see you again and to have this conversation, and just be able to learn from you in this more extensive format. So I'm really thankful to have you here.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure as well.
So if there's any, well, I mean, I don't remember if I instituted this last time we had you on, but whatever. If you got your final words, or if any nuggets of wisdom have cropped up since the last time I talked to you, you're welcome to share it. And then direct the audience how they can find out more about what you're up to.
Well, regarding last word of wisdom, I don't really know. I think we, talked about a lot. I don't really know what people expect, but if it's beginners or if it's people that are more advanced, what I would say, like for beginners, because I think that's the main, the main audience watching this show, is like, might sound cliche, but it's all about consistency, persistence, and just like doing something to, a little bit every day, and not expecting big results, and just keep going until it works pretty much, and just never, I know it's the phrase never give up is always thrown, there and there, but it's just like, it's not an option, just keep doing it without expecting anything, but just having fun doing it. And at one point it's just going to work. To me, it was never an option to stop. It's just like, that's how I'm just going to do it until it works. And it just did. People just give up always before it actually works. The funny anecdote, I don't know if I said it during the call or on a previous call, is like many of my students, they actually were telling me, oh, I'm actually thinking about giving up because it's just too hard. I've done it for a few months. It's not working, whatever. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't. It's like, I'm going to take a week and then I'm going to get back. And then they go back to it. And that's when everything clicked, and it happened to so many people. And it's just, that's a sign. It just shows that, sometimes you think about giving up, but you're actually very close to start getting some return, an investment. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would say. It's very basic, but it's very important, especially in the beginning when you're starting and you feel lost and you feel like nothing makes sense. Regarding more information about me, so actually, if you'd like to know more about Pinterest, if you'd like to talk to me directly, what I have now is a service where you can actually book a call with me. It's a free call, and we can talk about you for an hour, in your business for an hour, and really see, understand your struggles and see how we can help. So that's a service we do, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much again, Joseph, for having me and Debutify. Really appreciate it. And yeah, it was awesome.
I agree completely. Really glad to have you here. And to my audience, it is also an honor and a privilege to be able to collect and share this information with all of you. So thanks to everybody for all of your participation. And with that, take care. We will check in soon.
A chance to earn commission from the advertisers.
Hey, this is Joseph from Ecomonics. Just wanted to thank you for being here and for giving this content your time and attention. I hope you learned something. I can say with certainty, I have learned something with every episode that I have done, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. There's a couple things you can do to help us out. If you want to check out the audio content, we are available on all major podcast platform distributors. And while you're there, give us a 5-star review. It helps a lot. And while you're here on YouTube, there's a lot of things you can do to help out as well. It's not going to take very long. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for this episode, and hit the notification bell so when we have new content for you, it's going to be at your doorstep ASAP. Lastly, this podcast is created by Debutify, the best Shopify template available. It is 100% free for you to start, and it can change your life. It can make you so much more free than you are right now. So if this episode wasn't enough to convince you, I think a few more might do the trick. So have at it.